Sometimes we get so hung up and attached to exactly what we want that we're disappointed, or we, even worse, don't believe in our own magic anymore, that we just stop doing it entirely because that one specific thing didn't happen, that one exact thing. Now, many years ago, I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I saw in a visualization a very specific office. I mean, it was specific. I had actually been in this office not too far from where I live, and I had been there visiting someone else who was the occupant and owner of the space. And then, I don't know what it was, maybe a year later, I'm doing a wish circle, a guided visualization. I'm leading others. And I saw myself sitting in the office. I saw myself looking through the internal window at another area of the office, and two people around the conference table laughing. I knew exactly where I was. I knew that was my office. And because I actually knew this space, I thought, that is so crazy. I know just where that is. Now, one would think that I would just go figure out how to, rent that office, right? There it was in my mind's eye. It felt like the company was flourishing. There was lots of people around. That was my office. Now, I did go by out of curiosity, and there was another company there. It was not for lease. And then a couple years went by. Notice how I said that? A couple years went by. Then in the middle of the pandemic, it became for lease. Drove by. I always looked at it. I always sort of said hi. I said hello to my future office as I drove by down the street. Hello, future office. Just giving it my energy and my attention. Hello. And I noticed that a for lease sign was there. And there was a little something, you could scan the picture and go to the listing. And so I did, of course, because I was like, it's a sign. It's a sign. And I went to look at the listing, and they were asking $20,000 a month. Maybe some of you are listening is like, that's a deal. But in my world, 20 grand a month, not in the budget. So didn't think that was necessary for where I am right now, but I didn't get mad. I just went, oh, look at that. Not available, not for me now, but good to know. Good to know. And I saw pictures of it and I was like, yep, that's the office. But what it did do is that it reminded me how important it was to me to get an office. So I started asking around and seeing if there were other opportunities and finding a space that was in my budget, that was just what I needed. And you may notice from my background that I'm not in my typical background. I used to do these podcasts in my vintage trailer, but because of the COVID, we're not really having people over. So anyway, I'm in my new office, people.